we are. Hello. Season 3, episode 13 review. This will be my last Robin Hood review for this season, as it's the last episode. And it was very, very sad. I cried, for those who watched, from the moment Gisborne really got stabbed until the end, and then for about 10 minutes after that, because it was just so sad. Yeah, I really did. It was so unbelievably sad. It wasn't even nice crying. It wasn't even TV crying, like lightly rolling down your cheeks. I was sobbing, literally blowing my eyes out. My mum was like, "Megan, it's a programme. Can you calm down?" I was like, "No, it's really sad." Anyway, this episode, the sheriff is trying to take back Nottingham, and the gang are trying to hold the castle so he can't take it back over. They say goodbye to Alan and burn his body, as well as what was I going to say? Yeah, Kate goes to Loughborough to try and get a little army from the king, but obviously the king's been held to ransom and the army won't fight without the king, so that doesn't go all to plan. She comes back empty-handed. Guy gives Isabella some poison, which turns out to be a very bad idea because she puts it on a blade, which then slices Robin's throat and kills him. Not slices the throat open, but like goes into his blood system and then dies later on. But they manage to get everyone out of the castle before the sheriff get in, and they then blow up the castle, killing the sheriff and Isabella all in one sweep. Guy also dies in this episode because Isabella stabs him in the back and the sheriff stabs him in the front. And there's a really nice little scene where Robin's holding on to him and making sure he's okay, you know, as he's dying. That was a really lovely scene. And Robin dies in the forest after saying goodbye to all his gang. And Marion, we see Marion, and she comes and she collects him, takes him off, which is really nice. Characters and cast. Lovely to see Marion again. Lovely to see Marion again. It was such a small moment, like it was about 3 minutes or something. It wasn't very long at all that we got to see her, but it was nice to see her again. And she didn't say much, but she didn't have to. You know, she didn't have to say much because everyone knew, the audience knew how they were feeling and everything. There was a really nice thing where Robin was like, "Oh, my wife," and Marion was like, "Oh, now I'm forever my love," or something like that. And it was really lovely, just a really lovely clip. Loved Archer in this episode. I really, really, really did. And I think he's going to get such a... If they make a 4th series, I'm not sure if they are yet. I'm not really sure how that would work without Robin Hood. But we'll have to see. You know, it might do. I'm not really sure. I don't know if they actually are or if they're not. We'll have to see. But if they do, I'd love to see more of Archer. And I think he would get such a... his character development would go so far. And I really liked him in this episode. I felt really sorry for him for the fact that he's only just found his family. He's just found his brothers, which, you know, he was starting to get a little bit attached, wasn't he? And they've both been taken from him on the same day, along with Isabella, also the only member of his family. Yeah, not that he liked her, because she was just nasty to him. I really liked Guy in this episode as well. The fact that he's fully become a good guy. In this episode, it was solidified that he was a good guy. He was a good guy. And Marion, I think Marion would have been really proud of him. Really proud of him. Didn't like Kate in this episode for the reason that she didn't belong. Something about her, it didn't feel right that she was there. I don't know what it was. I really don't. But it didn't feel right that she was there. She had no part. She had no part in this. It didn't feel right to me at all. I really liked Much as well in this episode. I really liked everyone, but I'm just trying to go through the ones that I mainly liked. Much, we got to see a different side of him. We often just see him whining and things like that, but in this episode it was really nice to see him being brave and being a bit in control, do you know what I mean, giving orders, and you know, it really came into his own. Robin was brilliant, as always. really liked Robin in this episode, and it was good that the main focus was kind of on him, because, you know, it was his last episode. It needed to be. The sheriff was darker in this episode than he has been before, I feel. Didn't like the character purely because he was trying to kill Robin. But, you know, it was good. Really liked this episode, really liked it. If you're going to kill Robin Hood, I think they did it in the best possible way. I couldn't think of a better way for him to die, and to be able to say goodbye to everyone he loves, and, you know, we really got to see him to the end. I also loved I know I'm saying loved a lot, but I really did. All the little gem moments, do you know what I mean? That relate back to past seasons and past series. My main example that I can think of is when Robin's walking away into the forest away from his gang while Tuck's explaining what's happened, and he runs his hand through the grass, and all I thought then was season 1, episode 1, as he's returning home to Locksley, he runs his hand through past that bush, didn't he? And I was blaring then. That set off another wave of tears. Very difficult to choose the best bit. Extremely difficult. And to be honest, I thought it was all brilliant. The only bit I didn't really like was when Archer and Robin and Guy are having that big old argument in the main hall. I didn't like that very much. But to be honest, it was a brilliant episode, and I couldn't choose a best bit, an overall best moment. I couldn't choose. But I did like Robin saying goodbye to his gang, because it was just so sad, so emotional, and I felt so bad. I just wanted to reach into the TV and give them all a massive hug. I really did. That was the moment that got me the most, really, that I was just sobbing and sobbing. I couldn't help it. I really couldn't. I liked Gisborne's death, when Robin's holding him, cradling him, and, you know, he's saying, you know, how Marion was the love of his life, and how she always belonged to Robin, and how Robin's going to have someone there waiting for him when he dies, and Gisborne's going to have no one. And that made me feel really sad. But I also thought, after I've watched it, what about Meg? Hey, she might be there. She might be the love of your life, and you never realised it. Dunno. But, you know, I don't think he's going to be alone. I liked Robin's death with Marion coming and taking him. That was also quite lovely. But there were so many little good moments in that, like the hand through the grass. Love that moment. I really liked when Archer, Gisborne and Robin are in the tunnel, and they're about to have that massive fight with the Sheriff, Isabella, and his little commander person, and they're about to do that, and the Sheriff says, oh, he's new, and Isabella, of course, you know, he's my mother's mistake, or whatever she says, and then Archer's like, brothers in arms, you know, we're brothers in arms, or whatever he says, and I just thought, oh, that's so adorable, all three of them there together. It's really nice. So many good moments in this episode, and I really think that they did a really good job of ending the series, and especially having to take the majority of the main cast, like the core cast, I would call it, out. Taking that many of them out is a really big risk of just flushing the series down the toilet, especially considering you're going to have to kill them in some way. And they could have done it so badly, but they didn't, and they did it really well, and I'm so glad that they did. This series has been the worst so far, I feel. Overall, as an overall series, I don't think it's been as good as past series, but I think the end makes up for it a little bit. And hopefully we'll have season 4, which I'll be watching through loyalty to the show, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. Thank you for watching all of these reviews, all 13 of them. Thanks for staying with me, and hopefully we'll get another series that I'll be able to review, but stay with me and watch some other of my stuff if you want to.